As long as I serve the American people, I will defend George Washington's vision of religious pluralism and freedom. Today, this means crushing anti-Semitism at home and supplying the state of Israel with what it needs, when it needs it, without conditions to achieve total victory in the face of evil.
Over the weekend, American Congresswoman Elise Stefanik groveled in front of the Israeli parliament and pledged unconditional and unlimited US taxpayer-funded weapons to a foreign government, Israel. But the humiliating display unfortunately did not end there. Stefanik also criticized President Joe Biden and touted her own record of shipping off our taxpayer-funded, taxpayer funds and weapons to a far-right genocidal government. Take a look.
It is the United States' high honor and high responsibility to support Israel's effort. I have been clear at home, and I will be clear here. There is no excuse for an American president to block aid to Israel, aid that was duly passed by the Congress. There is no excuse to ease sanctions on Iran, paying a $6 billion ransom to the world's leading state sponsor of terror, or to dither and hide while our friends fight for their lives. No excuse, full stop. That's why I'm proud to have sponsored or backed every measure to aid Israel that has come before the United States Congress. Every single one.
So it's incredible because, Cenk, I don't know if you knew this. I found out last week as I was researching for an Israel-related story, but Israel actually had a budget surplus in 2022. The United States has not had a budget surplus since 2001. And I state that because, look, it's one thing to allow a weapons deal with Israel where Israel pays the United States for weapons. It's something entirely different for the United States, which has a terrible economy, to pay for the weapons that Israel is using to drop on, refugee camps, hospitals, residential areas in Gaza. Why do we have to fund it? Elise Stefanik has never answered that question, but she's very proud to, on our behalf, commit to our money funding the weapons for Israel.
Pausing here to deliver some honest truth as we do in our news coverage as well. TYT is facing challenges, guys, as the entire industry is. You know who could make the difference? You. If you hit the join button below, it's gonna make all the difference and keep us in business. We appreciate you, thank you.
So let me say things that are obvious, but sometimes in America they cause controversy. So first of all, she says, it is our honor and responsibility to serve Israel.
Is it?
Why? Why is it our honor and responsibility? Well, they're an ally. They're an important ally. Okay, Saudi Arabia is an ally. Is it our honor and responsibility to serve them? Turkey is the second largest army in NATO, one of the top allies we have in the whole world. Is it our honor and responsibility to serve Turkish interests? How about Australia? Why is it our honor and responsibility to serve anyone? What a ridiculous statement. And it only makes sense in the gaslit world of American media where we have gotten used to politicians saying, I serve Israel. I don't serve America. Israel first, America second. If that makes you uncomfortable, listen to the speech. Prove me wrong. Show me where she goes, look, American interests are way more important, but you guys are important allies and we'll stick with you guys as long as you make sense, right? Okay, I got no problem with that speech. I will serve you. Oh, great mighty Israel. Our leader is wrong. Our country sucks. Your country's way better. And I promise I will take all the tax dollars we have here and just give it to you. That's the translation of the speech. You can watch the whole speech. And I guarantee you that if you're anywhere near objective, you'll come back and say, oh, that's exactly what she said. You're absolutely right, right? So we've come to accept it, but I don't accept it. Our politicians groveling to foreign leaders in foreign governments is disgusting. And so, okay, go join the Knesset then. I don't mind. Do like what Brian Mast did. He signed up with the IDF, even though he has no connection to Israel, just because he wanted to kill more Muslims. Okay, I get it. You're a sociopath. No problem. Just be honest about it and go away. She doesn't serve the people in the District of New York that she's in. She serves her donors. That's obvious.
And
she's super obvious.
She's had a pretty short stint in Congress, right? She hasn't been in Congress all that long, but in her short tenure in Congress, she's already collected close to $600,000 in campaign contributions from the pro-Israel lobby. That includes individuals and PACs during her time in Congress. And by the way, just to respond to what she had to say about Biden loosening sanctions against Iran, that is a laughable thing to say. And one thing that just shows you just how dishonest some members of the Republican Party are in how they comment about Biden and his handling of the war in Gaza. Biden has given Israel everything that they've wanted. And he's also implemented additional sanctions against Iran ever since October 7th happened. So I'm failing to understand where exactly Biden loosened sanctions. There's one example of him loosening some enforcement, which allowed for China to buy some oil from Iran, but that was it. And that was, earlier, after Israel was attacked by Hamas. By the way, no evidence to show that Iran ordered that attack. In fact, Iran has denied it. The Wall Street Journal has failed to walk back their argument that made it seem like it was a certain thing, that they had definitely backed it and ordered it. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I mean, Biden has already moved to punish Iran further with additional sanctions. Anyway, the White House's response to Stefanik is also worth getting into. So in response to her visit to the Knesset, White House spokesperson Andrew Bates said, "There has been no better friend to Israel than President Biden." And I'm here to tell you that they're not lying about that. That is absolutely true. Biden has given Israel everything that they want. Biden has gone around Congress nearly 100 times in order to get more weaponry to Israel during this war. There were only 2 times out of the 100 in which Congress was notified about what Biden was doing through executive action. So this is the one area where I will say the Biden administration is not lying. He was the first American president to visit Israel during wartime in the aftermath of the horrific October 7th terrorist attack. Notice that Biden did not visit East Palestine, couldn't be bothered with that, even though Americans were facing a crisis and a disaster, and they could have used the support of the United States president, but they didn't get that. And he's the first president to order the US military to defend Israel from a foreign nation's attack. As he has demonstrated, President Biden's support for Israel's security is ironclad. And finally, unlike some figures on the right, and I'm not even gonna read that graphic. Let's not even bother, okay? Left and right in America, meaning Democrats and Republicans in America, are exactly the same when it comes to policy related to Israel, exactly the same. So this effort to use this war for political gain ain't gonna work, because honestly, there's no difference between the two. It didn't matter if it was Trump or Biden in office as this war played out. They were both gonna do everything that Israel wanted, period, end of story.
Now, to be fair, Biden tweaked them on the 2,000-pound bombs, right? That's the one thing where Biden dared to, not do exactly what Israel wished. And he said, if you're gonna go into Rafah, I'm not gonna send 2,000. But he got so much pushback for that he immediately panicked and was like, okay, I'll send you $1 billion right away.
Yep.
And he sent $1 billion instantly. So, okay, whatever. He does 99% of what Netanyahu, a right-wing warmonger, wants. And they're like, not good enough. You should do 100% of what the warmongering, outrageous right-wing government of Israel wants. So look, Elise Stefanik, you should be super proud that you have kissed ass better than others. And if you're a reporter or you're anyone in media and you're gonna pretend that she's not affected by the $592,000 she got in legalized bribes from AIPAC, you're not really a reporter. So $592,000. So of course she has been purchased, and that's why she acts in the way that she does. And you know what happens in those bombs that we drop? We pay for those bombs. And she says she's super happy that she's making the American taxpayers pay for those bombs. Children, grandmothers, aunts, uncles, moms, lit on fire. They're lit on fire. We pay for that. And Elise Stefanik is bragging about it and saying that Biden has made the great crime of being disloyal to Israel because he dared to disagree 1%. And they don't realize how pathetic they look. Finally, the last piece of hypocrisy, Nancy Pelosi in 2007 made a trip to the Middle East where she slightly criticized President Bush at the time. And all of American media went nuts. You cannot go abroad and criticize the US president. That is a breach of etiquette. And back then, Dana Perino, White House spokesperson, said, we think it's a really bad idea. People should take a step back and think about the message it sends and the message it sends to our allies. Now that Stefanik is doing the same exact thing, they're all like, yay, way to betray America, go Israel. So that's American media and American politics for you.
Just want to remind you all that Americans who suffered from the PG&E caused fire, the Camp Fire in California, remain homeless. That fire happened in 2018. Also want to remind you that the fire that made Maui residents homeless, they're still homeless. But we've forgotten about them. We should be very proud that we are funding the bombs that Israel is dropping on innocent civilians in Gaza. We should be so proud of that. Yeah. And where's the America First crowd? That's what I want to know. Because I'm starting to see conservatives who are a little more critical in the beginning because they're like, wait, that's our money. We want to make our country better. Why are we funding this war? All of a sudden, I don't know if they've been effectively shamed into accepting that Israel, according to our politicians, is far more important than our own country. But don't be claiming that you're America first as you co-sign or greenlight your politicians sending our hard-earned tax dollars to a country that had a budget surplus in 2022, okay?
Okay, yeah, one last thing, guys. So if you're offended by us pointing out the obvious actions of the-
Be offended, go ahead and cry about it.
That's okay, I just wanna leave you with one last data point here. Joe Biden has lost 30 points in the youth vote, almost all of it because of Gaza. All he has to do is slightly criticize Israel, and the Republicans like Elise Stefanik will jump all over him and say, oh my God, he's not kissing enough Israeli ass. He's terrible, he should be serving Israel. They do it all the time. Mike Johnson does it. We just shared clips on this show with you guys, direct quotes. Stefanik, Johnson, they all do it. And they'll give the youth vote back to Biden. And then he could win the election. But he won't slightly criticize Israel. He's willing to cost himself the election and let Trump become president, then defy Israel. And still, they say it's not enough. That's the current state of American politics.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.